Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Good
Yes,
evening,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, good evening to you.
Good
Right, so
evening.
we starting with the day 2 content of module 6. Right, so we discussed about materials and aids. Can you remember what we discussed related to materials and aids? Any subtopics or any concepts connected to materials and aids? Can you just mention whatever that we have done? Go through your notes and tell me anything, any topic related to materials and aids that we have covered during the day 1. That is yesterday, I think. Not yesterday, last week. So we discussed about visual aids, right? And we also discussed about certain non-electronic aids like RealIAs, pictures, flashcards, so on and so forth. So today we are going to start with the day 2's content, right? So before starting with the day 2's content, just have a basic quick read up related to what we have already covered. This is what we did during the day 1 under materials and aids. We tried to find what materials and aids were. Then we discussed about RealIAs, how we can use RealIAs in the classroom. What are RealIAs? We focused on certain examples, then pictures and charts, flashcards. Only this much. I don't think we did songs and rhymes, right? So the first 4 topics, subtopics were handled during day 1. Today, we are moving towards the day 2 content. Okay. Exploiting the blackboard, right? So today we will be focusing on how to use the blackboard and also songs and rhymes. When it comes to teaching language in a classroom, songs and rhymes are very effective means that are very heavily used to teach vocabulary, grammatical structures, and so many other language related concepts, right?
Madam,
So,
could you kindly share
yeah.
the topic of this lesson, madam? I missed it. Kindly hold on. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, madam.
So these are the subtopics. So under today's content, how to use or how to get the maximum use of the blackboard, and then how to utilize songs and rhymes to teach language in the classroom. When we are choosing any song or any rhyme, what are the important factors that the teacher needs to take into account? Similarly, games, word games and puzzles. They too are very effective means to teach language. So in terms of games and puzzles, what are the different kinds of games that we can use in the classroom? Certain activities are given, and also puzzles, any kind of crossword puzzle or any other language related puzzles. Then we move on to electronic aids, under which we will be focusing on the OHP, how to use the OHP and the benefits of using overhead projector. What are the different activities that can be done using the OHB? Similarly, the video, how we can make use of the video, right? So these are the basic things that we will be focusing today. Read. The blackboard should be kept clean at the beginning of the lesson. Today, we don't find blackboard being used very often, or in most of the classes, it is replaced either by a smart board or maybe using a whiteboard. Whether it's going to be black or white, it doesn't matter. Still, the function or the purpose is more or less the same. So when it comes to utilizing a whiteboard or green board or blackboard, make sure that as we enter into the classroom, the board is kept neat and clean. If not, it's the teacher's responsibility to have the board cleaned. Then in terms of writing, do not scroll on the board. The words should be legible. Not to use cursive writing. Whenever we are writing something on the board, refrain from using cursive writing. It might not be clear enough for the learners to read and understand. Unless we are teaching them how to write cursive writing, you can do it. Other than that, do not use cursive writing on the blackboard. Similarly, do not scroll. Let the letters be in block script, just like what is given over here. Write it neatly using the block script. Do not be reluctant to draw simple sketches. Teacher doesn't have to be a good artist to draw sketches on the board. It can be just a timeline. It can be a matchstick figure using a circle and some lines, right? So basic sketches can be drawn to explain different concepts. Maybe singular, plural, or maybe tense or some other related topic. Divide the board into sections. Use the board systematically. Don't write here and there on the board. Have a section allocated for class use. It can be to write the date or maybe the number of students in the class, the number present, or to write certain reminders. Let there be a fixed section on the board, separated on the board, to write the daily information related to the class. And the rest of the board should be utilized in a very systematic manner, right? So the teacher can divide the rest of the space and write whatever that she wants to write. Be accurate. In terms of spelling, we don't do it deliberately. It happens unintentionally. We make spelling mistakes. So thereby, be careful when you are writing on the board. And if at all, suppose if we had made a spelling mistake and if it is acknowledged by the learner, definitely be humble enough to accept it and correct it. Also, soon after writing on the board, make sure to get back to the class and read what we have written, so that if at all, if there are any punctuation related errors or spelling errors, those can be avoided. Don't assume that everything will be fine and at the last moment detect that something has gone wrong. So better to avoid things beforehand itself. Go and observe what you have written on the board. Be brief. Don't go to write essays or very lengthy paragraphs on the board, right? So it might as well photocopy it or use the OHP or find another proper technique to write paragraphs or give them to the learners. When it comes to board work, be brief. Use different color chalk according to the needs or according to the requirements to highlight certain information or maybe to differentiate. Now, if we are teaching parts of speech, to differentiate the conjunctions from that of prepositions or maybe from another part of speech, you can make use of different color chalks. When we are teaching tenses, to contrast different tenses, make use of color chalks or color markers. So that is something very simple, but definitely it contributes a lot in making the teaching learning process meaningful. It will trigger the memory of the learner. Highlight relevant information using asterisk or maybe underlining or using a circle or box by labeling them, right? So using different color chalks by using different ways to highlight the information. Definitely what is written there on the board will make more sense to the learner. The board is not only to write on, stick things, project. So in terms of using visual aids, board is usually used to display visual aids. So make sure that even for that purpose, the board is being used. Read aloud what you are writing on the board as you write on it, right? So while writing, if the teacher can articulate it louder, those of them who can listen to the teacher will be able to write it. Erase vertically in order to stop the dust coming into the nostrils. Always make sure that it's erased vertically so that the dust will fall down. Now, if we are using the marker, this is not a problem at all. Whether you erase it vertically or horizontally, still it makes no difference. There is no dust involved in it. Share the board with the students. Give them an opportunity to use the board. Ask them to come up to the board and write on the board, or maybe do something on the board, right? Connected to the lesson. Draw a picture or explain or whatever that is possible. So these are some tips. There are many, but these are some basic tips that you can, we need to follow in order to make the utmost use of the blackboard, right? So definitely there will be a blackboard, even if there all the other visual aids or other teaching aids are not found in a classroom, definitely there will be a blackboard or a whiteboard. So it's up to us to make the utmost use of the white or blackboard in order to make the teaching a successful venture, right? Just go through it once again. Then we come to songs and rhymes. With which category of learners do we use this aid or this particular technique very often?
Kindergarten, grade 1, and young primary learners.
Right. Mostly with kids or young learners. songs and rhymes are very often used. It doesn't mean that with intermediate or advanced ones you can't use. It depends. It depends on the quality of the song, the concept, or maybe the topic of the song. Based upon those, they can even be used with adult learners. But songs and rhymes are very much used with primary learners. Answer these two questions, go through them and try to answer. Name some of the rhymes or songs that are mostly used in ELT. Any rhyme or song? Common ones like Baba Black Sheep or Rain Rain, like that. Whatever you have learned or maybe your children have learned. Can't remember? Try to recall. Mary had a little lamb. What else?
I
A
have
rhyme.
bingo.
Bingo, is it a game? Is there a rhyme called bingo?
It's a nursery rhyme, madam.
So do you have a
Bingo.
bingo? Yeah. Yes. Bingo. You have a game also. I think we'll be dealing with it. Bingo. So bingo.
Baba Black Sheep.
A black sheep. Old MacDonald, right? Had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Then what else? Hickory dickory dock. K Sara Sara. The
And
song.
Humpty Dumpty.
Dumpty. Jack and Jill. Billy Boy. You have several songs. Oh, where have you been, Billy Boy? Right? So, in most of these songs, it can be songs, it can be rhymes. What do you find, or what is the most striking feature? Do you find any common feature or anything special than that of the other genres? You take a story or you compare it with a drama. What is the outstanding feature that you can recognize when it comes to rhymes?
You find rhyming words.
Rhyming words are there. Definitely there will be rhyme and rhythm involved. What else makes it special?
The repetition.
Certain lines or maybe certain words get repeated. Imagery, yeah. It's very colorful and easy to understand. The language has a whole lot of visual or maybe auditory imagery as well. Any other feature related to language? Think in terms of language that is being used over here in the songs and rhymes.
Simple diction.
Right, very simple, direct diction. Right, so they don't use complicated language. Very high-flown language is not used. Very direct and clear words, comprehensible words are often used. Right? So the attraction is mostly placed on the tune or the melody that is getting involved. It tends to be a very captivating or attractive tune, as well as the rhymes or the rhyming scheme or the rhythm. So these are the features that make the learners remember those words. when they are taken up by the tune, they tend to hum it. Or even if they don't understand the word, they still repeat the word and they try to sing the song. Even without knowing the meaning, they tend to sing the song. Remember the words due to the rhyming scheme or the rhythm that is involved. So that is how language gets internalized in them through rhymes and songs. Factors to consider in choosing any rhyme or song. There are 4 important factors that we need to take into account in picking and choosing a song or rhyme. Go through it. Structure and lexis, right? The structure, the layout, or maybe the format of the song or the rhyme. And lexis stands for the vocabulary. So when we decide on a particular rhyme or a song, we need to check the words that are used in that song or rhyme. Whether the words that are used are familiar to the learners. So you know your learner level, the age group to which the learners belong to, what kind of words they will be familiar with. If it is primary kids, definitely the immediate concepts or the topics that are immediate to them. It can be about the clothes, food, or the family members, or something to do with their classroom situation. Those kind of vocabulary will be familiar to them. So any song or rhyme that has that kind of words involved in it will make sense to them. They will be able to comprehend it, comprehend the meaning of that song. So definitely remember, when selecting a song or a rhyme, the initial thing that the teacher has to check is the language level. If the language level is too high, the child won't be able to comprehend the meaning, and as a result of it, he might lose interest in singing that song. Or there will be no expressions involved in the child while he is singing that song, why he doesn't understand, right? So overall, at least 60% of the vocabulary present in the song should be within the parameters of the learner's vocabulary. Choose rhymes and songs that incorporate a particular structure and have selected vocabulary. So the topic related words should be definitely taken into account. Both repeated a number of times, both in the sense the words, right? So the structure, there can be chorus. In most of the songs, you find a chorus being repeated. The more the chorus is getting repeated, chorus or refrain becomes a part of the structure that will be beneficial for the learner, right? And certain words, more the words are getting repeated, there is a chance of the child internalizing those words, the meaning and the words. So that is the first element we need to take into account, the language level, the vocabulary involved, and the structure of the song. Then the level of rhymes and songs can be classified into elementary level songs like Baba Black Sheep, Mary Had a Lamb, all those things, Rain Rain, fall under the elementary category. which can be used with grade 1, 2 students. Then you have the intermediate rhymes. And you also have songs and rhymes, mostly songs. We don't use rhymes with advanced ones. With advanced learners, or maybe with intermediate and advanced learners, both groups, you can go in for songs, different kinds of songs. Right? So there are the songs and rhymes are categorized under these three categories. So it's up to the teacher to pick and choose the correct category and utilize the songs that come under that. Use them according to the age of the learner. So once again, the age of the learner, the language command that is involved, everything needs to be checked when picking and choosing the songs. Then comes the length. Now, this is not a music lesson for us to give very lengthy songs and make them memorize and sing and all, right? We are not testing their memory. The purpose is to develop the language. Therefore, go in for brief and attractive songs. Songs which are brief, mostly with attractive melodies or tunes, right? So those kind of songs will get registered in the learner's mind. They will develop a liking, and definitely those, at least a few words, they would be able to remember after a year or even after several months. If the melody was attractive, if the song was brief, definitely some language would have been learned by them. That is why they insist on the length. Don't go for very lengthy songs. Ultimately, the purpose will be lost. They won't be able to remember anything or use those words in their daily context. If there are any distorted words, words with silent letters, words having different digraphs or digraphs having the same sounding, if at all, if there are any distortion, words involved, words with distortion involved, make sure to pre-teach them before making them sing the song. Otherwise, what will happen? They will be articulating the word in the wrong manner and continue to sing the song. Ultimately, it will get fossilized. The child will not be able to, even if you correct it, he will not be able to articulate it in the correct manner. Why? It has got internalized. You call it fossilization. The pronunciation will get fossilized in the child's system. So it's very difficult to undo it. So beforehand itself, if at all, if there are any unnatural or words which are difficult to pronounce, make sure to drill them with the correct pronunciation and then make the learners use them in the song. Focus on the pronunciation and stress, and also the expression when it comes to songs, dramas, facial expression, or if they understand the content, automatically it will come. The facial expression will be there. And also the actions. Try to accompany actions so that it will be more meaningful and relevant. So the whole intention is to make them use the language in realistic context. So that is why we are focusing on all these factors. Once again, go through the factors. What are the factors? Carefully go through it and tell me what are the 4 factors. By now you should have remembered. At least a few you should remember. What was the first one? Okay, read up. Once again, you read it. Right. So what should we take into account when deciding on a song or a rhyme? Tell any relevant
The
level of whom or level of what?
level of the children and the level of the song that has been chosen.
Right. How are you going to check the level of the song?
With the words, you had to see whether the words used in the song are familiar with the learners.
Good. Right. So you have to check both the learner level and more than the learner level, whether the song's language level is corresponding to that of the learner's level. Anything else other than that?
Length.
Length. What can you tell about the length?
Length should be brief and attractive for the learners because they are small children. They are primary level students, so it must be attractive and brief. Then
Right.
automatically it will go to their mind.
They will be able to remember the words. Right. Tell me one more fact.
There shouldn't be any distortion in the sounds or the stress or the intonation of the words used in the song, because if they aren't corrected, the child will get them internalized in their system and will never make them, will go on with the wrong stress or the intonation or the pronunciation of the word.
Right. So what should be done beforehand?
All over again, we have to teach that system or the word or the sound system to the child so that they will not make that mistake again. Because provided that the child doesn't know it. So we have to
Pre-teach the child.
Pre-teach whatever difficult, crucial words or any possible word that can be misarticulated by the child. What can be taught using rhymes and songs, right? So it's given over here. You can use pronunciation. Pronunciation, the most important factor. Structures of grammar, right? It can be the plural forms or it can be something related to the tense or maybe ing, passive, right? So it depends on the song that we have chosen. Vocabulary, definitely words. There will be multiple words that the child will learn related to a particular topic. Clothes means different names of clothes. Sports means different sports or equipment related to sports. Sentence type, mainly intermediate and advanced learners when songs are being utilized. Simple sentence, complex, compound, right? So different sentence types, SVO, SVD. Word classes, adjectives, you find a whole lot of adjectives and adverbs used in the songs. Rhyming words, different rhyming terms or rhyming words. Internal rhythm. When it comes to literary devices, imagery, right? So mostly you have very careful imagery, auditory imagery, visual imagery. So all those can be taught using rhymes and songs. Brainstorm and tell me if at all, if there are any other things that can be added up to this list, any other issues that can be taught.
We can teach them like blendings, beginning blends and ending blends, consonants and vowel classes also in through songs actually.
And one particular suprasegmental aspect, just like now pronunciation is a part of it. Just like that, think of some other suprasegmental aspect that you can teach.
Vowel classes?
Not vowel. I'm not referring to vowel consonants. Suprasegments means now pitch, pause, intonation, those elements. Gestures, right? Body language. You can't just stand still and sing a song. There should be some kind of body language involved in it, right? So gestures related to the content or facial expressions. So all of them are part of communication. It's a part of language. When the song is being sung, definitely the facial expression or maybe the beat or maybe the some kind of a hand gesture or any kind of expression should get involved. It should be the part of song. So all those suprasegmental aspects, even the tone, the pitch of the song, right? So though it becomes more related to music, still even those elements can be part of the rhymes and songs. Then we come to games and puzzles. Under games and puzzles, you have the activity of feely bags. Now, mind you, this is not this thing, aid, right? This is a kind of a task that is used in classrooms to teach a particular grammar concept, right? So feely bags are used to teach basic vocabulary as well as grammar. Go through, see what feely bags are. So this is a feely bag, right? So it's not transparent. It's a kind of a bag. Now you can't see what is actually put inside the bag. It's an invisible bag. You have to only feel and find or feel and guess the object that is inside the bag. So look at the aim to teach adjectives, basic vocabulary plus adjectives of domestic items. So mostly the rarely used domestic items, very small ones. You can't have big domestic items put inside the feely bag. So the items should be small. It can be a screwdriver. It can be pliers or a pair of scissors or a nail, a hammer, like that. It can be any object. Mostly rarely used ones are selected for this purpose so that the learners will be able to at least learn the names of those objects, right? And they are inside the bag, inside the feely bag, a cloth bag or some kind of a bag. Mostly unusual objects like home tools and equipment. Objects should be selected according to the level of the learner. So we can practice this activity with any age group of learners. But we need to be careful when selecting the objects, right? When we are selecting the objects, we need to definitely take their level of the learner, their age and all into account. The objects are kept inside the bag. The learner has to feel the object by touching the bag. So it's usually done in pairs. Two of them are put together and the feely bag is given. Now they have to take turns, touch the bag and guess what is inside. So you have to put at least 5 or 6 objects. Any number of objects can be put depending on the requirement. He then has to describe it to his partner, who will be guessing the object. Now I will just touch the bag and say, now it has a long handle. It is a hard object. Its shape is like that of a T. It's made of a hard substance. Then the other one has to guess it. It can be he can go in for a correct guess, informed guess, or it can be a wrong guess. It doesn't matter. So sometimes that person will guess it correctly as the hammer, or else he can even guess it as a pair of scissors. Right? So likewise, each object is being described and guessed. After that, the turn is taken by the other person. And I have to guess. Finally, what is happening? Both together list out the items that may be in the bag. Still, they haven't opened the bag and looked inside. Before looking, they have to list out the number of objects that can be inside the bag and whatever that they have guessed. Finally, check the content of the bag with their list. So when they check, it can be right, it can be wrong. It's not going to matter at all. If at all, if it is wrong, they will list down the exact items that are found over there. Right? So tell me, what are the language components that are getting practiced in this task? When we ask them to perform or get involved in this task, tell me what kind of language, or what language components are getting practiced. Definitely you have the nouns. They will come across different nouns. What else?
They learn adjectives.
Adjectives, right? Square or round or maybe hard, soft. Adjectives.
They learn vocabulary, and they can also master in their spellings.
Right. When they write the word, they need to know the spelling. Thereby, spelling becomes a part of it. Vocabulary becomes a part of it. When one person is describing, what is the component? What skill is getting practiced over there?
Speech.
Speaking skill, right? So they tend to practice the listening and speaking. I am speaking, the other one is listening. So both listening and speaking are getting practiced. Anything else? Speaking, spelling, grammar, anything else?
Imagination, creativity, imagination,
Yeah.
imagination.
Imagination, guessing, when they are guessing, they need to imagine. So their creativity, learners create higher order thinking skills, analyzing or evaluating, imagining, right? So those are not language skills, but they support in using the language, the higher order thinking skills. Basic reading. Now, when they are listing out the things, right? So it can be, it's not going to be purely writing. Basically, they are writing, but it also involves reading, right? What they have written, they need to read. So basic reading skill. And then they have to read out the list to the entire class. Once they have finished listing, they need to read out the list. So basically, reading skills are also getting addressed. It's a very good activity to practice with any level of learners, providing you have a bag and some equipment. Then you have another game known to be the adverb game. One more classroom activity to teach grammar. So earlier one, nouns and adjectives. Here it's adverbs. We are focusing on how to teach adverbs. Teach verbs and adverbs. The main focus is on adverbs, but avoiding the verbs, you can't teach adverbs. You know, adverbs always describe a verb. Therefore, they have to go hand in hand. 1 or 2 students are sent out of the class and assigned a few minutes to think of 4 adverbs. It can be any adverb. According to their level, they need to think the adverb and enter into the class. So beforehand, when we are sending them out, make sure that they know what an adverb is. Otherwise, they might think of an adjective and come. Or they might think of something else and come. So give them a brief introduction about adverbs and then ask them to think of 4 adverbs and come back to the class. Once they have decided on their adverbs, they have to come back to the class and perform or actions or mime. Right? So they are not going to speak out the adverb. They have to mime. Example, fast means we are using the adverb fast, want to tell the adverb fast. They will walk fast. They can walk fast or they can show any other gesture that indicates the adverb fast. What is happening to the rest of the people? They need to guess, right? The entire class will be guessing the verb as well as the adverb, right? So they have to basically go in for the correct guess. That's known to be adverb game. We have feely bag, adjective, noun related activity, then the adverb game, verbs and adverbs. To teach verbs and adverbs, this can be used. Then you have the Kim's game to teach vocabulary, different kinds of vocabulary.
Where did you put that? How do you write 100?
Kaushi, mute your mic.
I'm sorry, madam.
Teaching vocabulary and any kind of grammatical structure. Mostly it's the singular plural. We use this with primary kids, and it's mostly this structure of singular plural, or else you can make use of it to teach collective nouns, right? It depends. Look at the materials, small pictures or objects, any kind of objects. It can be a safety pin, it can be a handkerchief, it can be a bottle, a lid, right? Very tiny objects of the vocabulary items that would be taught, and a large cloth to cover the pictures, right? So the entire objects will be arranged on a table. So you can have a pencil, you can have a ruler. There should be many objects as possible. Then only them will be interesting and also it will be useful. If we are going to do it with a limited number of objects, maybe 10 or 7, 6 like that, it's not going to be that much useful, right? So try to have many objects as possible. Place all the objects on a table, present their names and review it to the class. So teacher has to initially introduce those objects. Now, if it is a safety pin, you show it and ask them what it is. What is the use of a safety pin? Or what is it made of? Likewise, randomly, if we know that certain objects are known by the learners, then of course we don't need to introduce them. Whatever the objects that we know that will be difficult for them to remember or comprehend, those should be definitely shown, displayed and explained. After which, after presenting the entire set, cover the objects with the cloth. So the cloth will be it should be a thick cloth. Make sure the learners cannot see what is inside. So you just cover it with the cloth and remove a few objects. Mostly whatever the words that we are intending to teach, the vocabulary that we are intending to teach should be removed. Now, if you have the image of a statue and your intention is to teach them the word statue, make sure you remove that object statue. And we need to uncover one by one. You can remove, or at one go you can remove 2 or 3 objects and make them guess what objects have been removed. You uncover and ask them, now tell me, what are the objects that are missing here on this table? If they were very attentive, definitely they would be able to guess it. Even if they don't know the word, if they have forgotten the word, they will try to explain what was next to this object is not there, like that. They will try to express it. Based upon their explanation, we introduce them or we try to teach that particular word. Uncover the entire set and ask the learners to guess the meaning, guess the missing ones. And then you can make them write down those words, or you can even make them articulate those words to make it more meaningful. Right? So that is how Kim's game work. So tell me which components of language or what areas of language are being focused in this particular game.
Vocabulary.
Yeah, only vocabulary. Vocabulary is one this thing. Other than that, what else can be taught? Or what else is getting focused?
Discovering new words.
Yeah, vocabulary, basically vocabulary. You can ask them once they have discovered the word, you can ask them for the spelling or for the articulation. Then it becomes pronunciation, spelling. Don't just stop with introducing the word. Go to the next level. Ask them the meaning of the word, how to spell that word, how to pronounce that word, right? So that will establish the use of that, using that word in a realistic context. Basically, it's catering to vocabulary, but if vocabulary needs to be used, definitely the meaning and spelling becomes very imperative. Without that, they can't use it. So check for the spelling and meaning. So what are the 3 games that we have discussed up to now? Tell me the names of those games. The first one was what?
Feely bags, and then ad the adverb game
Adverb game and
Kim's.
Kim's game. Bingo. So bingo is also a game, an activity, right? So likewise, Kim's one and the Feely bag. This is also a classroom activity that would promote language learning. Read and see how it is done. Each student is provided with a word card which has 6 words on it. Each student would be having a different selection of words. So the teacher needs to prepare different sets of word cards. For example, if there are 40 students in the class, you should at least have 4 different sets of word cards. Right now, 10 in one set. It can be something to do with sports, or the overall topic can be the same, but the first set should have different words related to sports, and the second set should have some other words. Similarly, the third and the fourth set too has to differ. So the overall topic can be the same, or even you can go in for different topics. It doesn't matter, but there should be different sets of word cards. That is the basic requirement. And randomly, we distribute it. We don't give the same set of cards to people who are sitting next to each other. Randomly, we just shuffle it and distribute. The teacher reads out the definitions of 10 words. Only the word will be there in the card. They are not provided with any definition. Teacher has the definition of any 10 words. Now, if you are having 40 words, out of the 40, pick and choose any 10 words and get ready with the definition of those 10 words. Learners won't know for which word you are having the definition. You are going to read out the definition. Teacher reads out the definition of 10 words, of any 10 words. The students have to listen to the definition and look for the word in their word card. Right? So, in each person's word card, there will be 6 words. Now, when I am reading out a definition, they have to check among these 6 words, do they have the definition for which the word that is the definition that is read out by the teacher. If at all, if they have that word in the word card, they will cut it off. If they don't have, they have to just keep quiet. So it's basically luck. If I have the luck, I will have the word on my word card. If not, somebody else will have. The person who finishes crossing out all the words, listening carefully and crossing out the words, has to, if he has cut down all the 6 words, he has to shout out bingo. Now see, this is the first word card. Now Just an example. Likewise, you will have different word cards. Now here, no 6 words. There are 8 words. So you can decide on the number of words that you are going to have on the word card. Word card set 1. Here, I have given 8 words. And I have given 12 definitions. Not given. This will be with the teacher. They don't know this. This part of it is not known to the learners. Now tell me, if these definitions are read out, which words are going to get cut? Will the person who is holding this word card become the bingo? Go through, read the definitions and try to find whether the person who is having this word card, will he become the bingo? For him to become the bingo, all 8 words should get cut. Is there a possibility of becoming the bingo? Do you find any words remaining, or do you find all the words getting cut down? Okay, let's check. Thinks only about himself. Do you have a corresponding word to this definition?
No.
Right, so he has to just keep quiet. Yes, right, so selfish, you don't have the word selfish. Second one, he wants to do well in life. Do you have a corresponding word?
Ambitious.
Yes, ambitious.
Ambitious, right? So the word ambitious, where is that? Yeah, it will get cut. Third one, always ready for a fight.
Aggressive.
Aggressive. Right, so let's, for the moment, let's take it as aggressive and we'll cut it off. Good at working with other people.
It's not found.
Not there. The word is not there, not given. Happy over the success of something.
Jubilant.
Jubilant. So the third word is getting cut. Ambitious, aggressive, jubilant. Finds it difficult to talk to new people. What kind of a character is she? Finds it difficult to talk.
Moody.
Introvert.
Moody.
It's not found. Introvert is not found.
Yeah. Shy, introvert. Moody is not, it doesn't correspond with Moody. Moody is something else. I think you have here. The emotions keep on changing from time to time.
Unpredictable.
Moody, right? So that is for Moody. Always compares himself to the others and feel bad about him. Inferiority. Do you have inferiority complaint? No. Superiority, inferiority? No. So No need to cut any word. Moves out of their comfort zones and reaches out to a person in need. Feels
Empathy.
Empathy.
empathy, right? You empathize. Has a lot of common sense.
Sensible.
Sensible.
Right? Sensible. Genuine in his dealings with others. Honest. Nothing, right? No, I don't think you don't have the word. Very active and lively. Agile. No, you don't have. Right? So will this person become the bingo? Can he become the bingo?
No, he can't.
He can't. Right? So we have only we have several remaining words: sympathy, confident, compassion, sorrow. All those are remaining. Right? So thereby the word card 1, those of them who are having the word
Then,
1 won't become the bingo. Yes.
do every child get a separate card, or is it the same card that they're getting?
No, you can give them a separate card, but the problem is if there are 40 children, you can't be preparing 40 separate cards for each one.
But
Now,
madam, in that case, will they lose interest? Like, what if they get the same card and they try to find the meaning, in the sense like this is a vocabulary game, and the meaning, finding the meaning of words. So
you
if we
mean
give,
to say by peeping to the next person and checking for the meaning?
for example, like if we have 10 children, we can give the same card to 10 children, like we are checking their knowledge on the words. So if we give them different cards with different words, will it lose interest of the child?
Then if you give the same card, how are you going to identify the bingo? So all can become the bingo, either all should become the bingo, or all should not become the bingo. So when we are preparing, we need to prepare only one card. There should be only one card that will become the bingo. They can't focus or they can't get distracted, because till the end they need to listen. Now you will be telling them, I'm going to read several definitions. So till the end they need to listen to the teacher carefully and cut down the words.
Can we do it as a group activity, madam?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can do it as a group activity or you can do it as a whole class activity. But make sure that you keep track of the bingo card. What happens is they want, the small children know, so they want to become bingo. They just cut here and there and shout out bingo. So the one who is just shouting out bingo will not be the real bingo. Sometimes the real bingo might have even missed it. So therefore the teacher should be vigilant in identifying the exact card or the person to whom you have given that card. It's going to be only one person. Or else if you want many bingos to come, then you can have several cards. Better, opposite to these, note down the words. Then it's easy for you to identify the bingo. Right? It's a very interesting activity, provided the preparation is done properly and the instructions are given clearly. Otherwise, it will be a mess. The class will be a very unpleasant place. They will be just fighting over each other and all chaos can be seen in the class. Right?
Ma'am, and excuse me, and the level of the learner also, the classroom has to be all.
Definitely. The word selection should be done appropriate. If they don't know the word, now empathy, if they don't know the word empathy, definitely, even if you read the definition, they are going to miss out on that. So make use of the word. Now, after doing a vocabulary lesson only, this can be done. It will be effective. after you have done a vocabulary lesson with 5 or 6 words, or maybe after doing 2 or 3 vocabulary lessons, you put all together and do the big Bo activity as a revision lesson like that, to revise what you have taught. So that is bingo. Then you have crossword puzzles. Read. Right, so see the areas that crossword puzzle is catering to. Mainly spelling and definitely comprehension, reading the clues horizontally, vertically, diagonally, right? Check on the words. They need to read the clues and comprehend them properly. If not, they won't be able to detect the word. Logical thinking, the letter that should come in front, the letter that should follow. Analytical skills, most of the higher order thinking skills, logical, evaluating, comprehension, analytical, all are a part of crossword puzzles, right? So you know what crossword puzzles are. You give them the clues and make them guess the word. Based on the level of the learner, the difficulty level can be amended, the topic as well as the difficulty level. It's an effective technique that could be utilized with any level of learners. We can even do this with small children, provided you give them the picture clues. If they are unable to read, just you give them the picture of a skirt and ask them to find out the word, in which cage those words should be written. Half of the sentence, half of the word can be given, the rest of it. Right? So like that, it depends on the level of, based on the level of the learner, you can modify the task, either by giving pictures or pictures plus clues. Then we come to electric and electronic. Before that, now tell me, what are the non-electronic aids that we have discussed today? Aids plus tasks. What was the initial one?
Songs and rhymes.
Okay, songs and rhymes. Before that, did we do anything?
Yeah, exploiting the blackboard.
Right, exploiting the blackboard. So the blackboard is a non-electronic aid. We are not talking about smartboard, it's blackboard. Right, so blackboard, after that songs and rhymes. What else? Following songs and rhymes, what did we discuss?
Factors that we have to consider in choosing a rhyme or a song for the learners for this purpose.
Yes, that is under songs and rhymes. Under that particular topic, we discussed about the factors. Soon after the topic of songs and rhymes, what was the next subtopic?
So under
Feely bags,
Yes,
feely bags,
feely bags, right? So we discussed about feely bags, a task or an activity. After feely bags,
the adverb game,
the adverb game. And then
Kim's
Kim's
game,
game.
what game?
Kim's
Kim's
game.
game,
Kim's game. Kim's game. After Kim's game,
Bingo.
bingo,
bingo. Right? So those are the, it's not really the except for the blackboard. The others are basically tasks or classroom activities that can be utilized to teach different language components, right? Now we come to the electric and electronic aids. So you have the OHP, overhead projector, a very handy aid to be used in the classroom. It always replaces the blackboard, no need of a blackboard. You can even project the image on a wall. If there is a wall, we can utilize the wall and project the image, right? So the requirements are very minimal. If there is a transparency sheet, we can make use of the OHP, right? So provided there is an OHP projector as well as the transparency sheet. Read. The main advantage is to monitor the learners, take control of the class, maintain discipline in the class. If the OHP is being used, all those can be easily handled, right? So teacher doesn't have to use the blackboard, thereby direct eye contact can be maintained with the learners. Also, it's a very good method to display the pictures or even language prompts like words, phrases. If you want to make them, if you want them to make a story, we can have all the pictures in the OHP displayed and write the language prompts on the blackboard. So together, they will be able to use the pictures and the language prompts, or give them the language prompts in the form of word cards distributed in groups. Display the picture on the OHP, the different pictures, and ask them to construct the story, right? So it becomes a very handy tool when it comes to teaching any area of the language. Provides opportunity to elicit information, discussions, when we are having class discussions, common discussions. During the presentation stage, when there is a discussion being done, or maybe during the final stage, production stage, when we are giving feedback. We can highlight the mistakes of the learners, made by the learners using the OHP and give common feedback. We can cut down on photocopying, printouts, handouts. No need to spend unnecessarily. With one transparency sheet, the entire set of learners can complete the task. No need to provide separate task sheet for each and every one or to each and every group. And operating an OHP is very easy, provided you have the transparency. You need to just place it over here and operate it using the knob that is the off and on button is here. Then you have the mirror that focuses the image. You can zoom in, zoom out using the knob that is given over here, right? And it's very simple to operate. No high technology or high-tech knowledge is needed. Provides opportunity to elicit, needs advanced preparation. That is, of course, very important. Without a transparency being prepared, you can't think of using the OHP. That's impossible. So there are permanent transparency sheets, permanent markers on which we write using the permanent marker. So you can have it. Once you prepare it, you can have it for several years. And they are so erasable ones. If we don't have enough transparency sheets, you can use an erasable marker and write on it. Write on the transparency sheet. Soon after the lesson is finished, you take a cloth, a wet cloth, and wipe it off. Then again you can use that same transparency sheet. Right? So if at all, if you are unable to get new transparencies, go in for the erasable marker and write it on. Or else you can even photocopy it. Right? So it depends. Whole class practice activities, feedback, all those things can be conducted. Helps to manage time effectively than spending time on writing on the board. It's very useful to manage the time for the teacher to manage her lesson or the timing of her lesson very effectively. Right? So if at all, if the OHP is available in your classes, make use of it. Colorful, if we write with colorful markers, the color will also be visible. Right? And it gives a very professional appearance if it is photocopied or written in good handwriting. It gives a really professional look for the lesson, for the entire lesson. It makes it a very professional one. Look at the activities that can be used, done using an OHP. Story building.
Madam,
Right.
can you kindly go to the previous slide, madam?
This one. Done?
Yes, madam.
Story building, we show the pictures plus the word prompts, structures, or maybe phrases, words, and ask them to construct the entire story. Or you can even give jumbled story and ask them to put it in the correct order. Practicing modals, can, may, might, using the modal as well as a picture, or maybe the using the positive and the negative modals, can, cannot, may not, like that. Modals indicating obligation, modals in the same modal, that it has different functions. It can indicate obligation, it can indicate possibility, right? So to differentiate the functions, we can make use of pictures and the modals and create activities that can be done in OHP. Directions based on maps, prepositions, directions, to teach different prepositions and directions based on maps. OHP becomes very useful. Identifying emotions or any kind of figures, it can be bar graph or pie chart, description of different kinds of line charts, flow charts, right? So almost all the activities can be done using any kind of reading, writing activities can be very effectively done using OHP. Even speaking, you give the image or you give the picture and ask them to talk about it. Then we come towards videos. Read. They provide exposure to authentic situations in which language is used, particularly in promoting pronunciation, native-like pronunciation, right? It can be, a video can be a very effective tool. More than that of a radio, video will definitely present them more meaningful context in terms of developing the accent, pronunciation, or maybe several other suprasegmental elements. Tone, speech tone, or facial expressions, all those can be viewed using the video. They have a short duration. They can be used for different purposes. When selecting a video clip for teaching purposes, don't select a very lengthy clip. Try to minimize it or try to set one that is around 6 to 9 minutes maximum. Don't select any video clip that is beyond 6 to 9 minutes. Right? The children will get bored or you won't be able to get the maximum benefit of that video clip. The entire time will be spent on just watching it and not making use of it. Masking the pictures, activities where the pictures are hidden and availing only the audio, only playing the audio and hiding the pictures. Masking activities can be done to promote listening skills, right? So no picture, they have to just listen to the audio and complete the task. We need to prepare the task well ahead. That is important. Questions or else any other grid or something, whatever the task that we are intending to give should be prepared beforehand, distributed among them, given instructions, and then the pictures should be masked. And they need to listen to it and complete the task. Turning the sound and constructing dialogues based on the video, the other way around. Here, the pictures are getting masked. Here, the sound is muted. You mute the sound. They can't listen to what is being spoken. They need to listen, look at the picture and guess. Based on the context, they can exchange or build up very small conversations, dialogues, or role plays like that. If it is taking place in a hospital, any possible conversation that is suitable for that context. Freezing the pictures and talking about vocabulary. If we want to teach words or descriptions of people, you freeze the picture and lead a discussion about the objects that are found in that place, or maybe the emotions experienced by the character. Right? So a video can be utilized in different ways. Mirroring. As it is, you give a commentary or maybe just as you look at that particular video clip or at that action or the object, you mirror, you just speak, describe it. Body language, suprasegments, segmental elements can be practiced. Commentaries, learners with advanced ones, you can make them do commentaries based on video clips, quizzes based on video clips, looking at the video and answering questions. To do off-air advertisements on certain products, it can be a shampoo, it can be a shirt, any kind of product. Make use of that product. Look at that product and they have to perform an advertisement. How will you advertise this product? So they have to act it out. So there are multiple ways of utilizing the video. So it's a very useful tool actually to promote language. OHP and then the video. Tell me something about both OHP and videos before talking about looking at the self-study task quickly. Tell me why or how a video can be used first. We'll finish with the video and then move on to the OHP.
At a stretch, the teacher can give all the things that is relevant to the topic.
Using an OHP, using a video. For which one are you?
The overhead projector. The overhead.
Okay. At one go, the teacher can give all the required information, right? So that is one advantage of it. Think of any other uses of OHP.
It is easy to operate.
Right. Easy to operate.
Help to manage time.
Helps to manage time. Yes. Helps to manage time. Minimize
Help to
the
manage
time.
the time effectively.
Yes. Helpful in managing the time effectively for both learners and teachers.
By doing a quality transparent sheet or photocopy that can attract the students and make the class more interesting, and the
Yeah.
quality of teaching will be good.
Good. So it gives the lesson a professional look. It helps the learners to get engaged in the lesson very actively.
It also an economical way to cut out printouts.
Yeah, unwanted expenses. A very good way to minimize expenses. What can be taught using an OHP? Tell me any kind of skills or any areas of language that can be effectively taught using an OHP.
By giving the pictures, the story could be guessed by the children.
Right, so writing skill, it can be used to promote writing skill, basic writings, sentence structures or constructing stories.
Filling the blanks.
Fill in the blanks, vocabulary related activities. Speaking, now you give a question and ask them to discuss about it. What are the bad effects or the disadvantages of global warming? You give the question, give some prompts under that, some guidelines, and ask them to lead a discussion. So speaking skills.
Dialogues for speaking skills also.
Yeah, drilling, right? So drilling certain structures or vocabulary. Dialogues, role plays. Almost everything can be done using OHP. Then tell something about video games, not video games, using videos.
Time management, according to a given time, they can show a video. That means we can manage the time.
Okay, to make use of the time, to make effective use of the time. Okay. What is the duration of, what should be the duration of a video clip?
It should be short, a brief one, so that if it's lengthy, it'll be difficult to comprehend for the learner.
Yeah. So what should be the ideal time slot or the time frame that could that is suitable for a video clip? How many minutes?
5
Like
within
Six.
4-5 minutes.
6 to 9 minutes, right? So 6 to 9 minutes, roughly. At most, you can go up to 9, not more than that. Anything else related to video games? How can we utilize them? What areas of language can be taught making use of videos?
Describe the pictures that is in the video.
Dialogues,
This-
language structures or functions can be taught using videos, like showing a movie or a drama or something.
Right, so speaking, language structures, grammar can be taught, dialogue, making use of dialogues or movie. You can even teach them certain language functions, vocabulary, words. How will you employ the masking technique in the class? Tell me, when you're using a dialogue, sorry, a video clip, masking means what are you going to do? How is it done? What is getting masked? Is it the sound or is it the visual?
the sound.
Are you sure?
Um,
Look. What is getting hidden or what is getting masked and what is visible?
masking the picture.
Pictures are masked and the sound is visible. So what kind of activity can be done using the masking technique? If you hide the pictures and if only the audio is visible, could be heard, what kind of activity can be performed? Read them. What is it?
Listening comprehension task.
Predicting.
Right. They are predicting, listening, right? So basically, they are made to listen and they can infer, they can predict, can guess, they can what they want, but the basic requirement is listening and then noting it down, summarizing. You can do different activities connected to listening. Tell me some ways by which we utilize video clips to teach language. Any other possible ways other than masking? What are the other possible ways? Tell me at least one.
Madam, what do you mean by mirroring?
Mean by what?
What do you mean by number 4, mirroring?
Mirroring means you speak what you see. Now, if you look at your image on a mirror, you see it as you, just as how you appear to be. So similarly, whatever that is seen over there in that video has to be reported. This in the same way, you don't need to make any amendments. Without making any amendments, you just repeat, or you tend to describe what is found in that particular visual. Descriptions, commentaries, right? Commentaries are an example for mirroring. They don't tell what is not happening at that moment. Whatever that is happening over there is being given as the commentary, right? So it's a kind of a mirroring activity, giving commentaries. Right, now you look at your self-study task. How can you use the Blackboard effectively to promote learning? Discuss any 4 ways, right? So you don't need to write the entire thing. Just pick and choose any 4 ways and discuss. Tell me 1 or 2 ways. Any 2 ways that you remember?
Divide the blackboard or the whiteboard accordingly what you need to do without making a mess, writing all over the place.
Right, good. That is one practice or one way how you can use it effectively. Then making use of color markers or color chalks.
Keeping it clean before you enter the class.
Yeah,
Teacher.
keeping it clean before you enter the class and keeping it clean after the lesson is finished, right?
So the way you erase it,
or is vert
vertical.
vertically, right? So like that, you just mention any 4 practices. That should be a very important thing, not to scroll on the board, and also to check on the spellings. At times, message becomes massage and all, right? So it makes there are certain funny mistakes that can be found in the board. So therefore, make sure that the spelling mistakes are avoided. What should be considered when incorporating songs and rhymes? So we talked about 4 factors. I hope you remember those 4 factors. When choosing a song or rhyme to be incorporated with a lesson.
Yeah, the level, the structure, and the lexis.
Yeah, and
The
also the topic, right? Remember, the song should be somewhat similar to the topic. If you're teaching about if the topic is on the days of the week, and if you are going to sing a song related to animals, it makes no sense. Therefore, the topic should be similar. The song should always get related to the topic. And in addition to that, mention those 4 factors. Explain any 3 games that you know, mentioning what aspect of language can be taught. Right, so adverb game means you can teach verbs and adverbs. Kim's game means you have to explain the game first, and then under the game, you just write it as a paragraph, and then under that, you highlight the language aspect that can be taught using that game. Just put it in bullet form to do the language aspect. This is how an OHP and a video can assist in language teaching by giving examples. Write it as a paragraph. For OHP, 1 small paragraph, and for videos, another small paragraph.
Madam, last time you gave us one of the, not in the last lesson, but in the previous lesson, in the self-study task, what are the aspects that we have to consider when choosing a grammar structure to teach? Could you give me a brief description?
Explanation.
Yes.
Yeah, grammar structure. Repeat the question. Is it under the structures?
Yes, under the structures, madam.
Yeah. Can you please repeat the
That was
question?
in Unit 5, Task 3.
Day 4. Yeah.
Day 3, madam.
Day 3 task. Okay. Please repeat the question.
What are the aspects that we have to take into consideration when selecting a grammar structure to teach?
Relevancy of that structure to the learner's level, right? So the learner's language level and the grammar structure should be relevant. It should be, he should be able to comprehend. And I told you, now you can't obviously teach indirect speech in the primary grade. Why? Indirect speech is challenging. It involves the pronoun change, it involves the tense change, and there are so many changes that need to be done over there. So for a primary child, it's definitely, it's going to be challenging and difficult. So based upon the learner level, the particular grammar structure should be chosen. And also the usage of it should be realistic for the child to use it in his day-to-day life. Now, if it is going to be plurals for a primary grade child, it makes sense. It becomes realistic. He's going to use the singular plural structure in his day-to-day life. Right? So the level of the learner, the realistic or the authenticity of the structure to the real life context. What else can you take into account? Teachability, right? Ability to explain and teach. Learnability, and I think it's under that particular unit that we discussed about it, right? Learnability, teachability. Include those 4.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Have you sent the previous week's to self-study task?
Yes, madam.
If at all, if you haven't completed, make sure that you finish it, right? Don't have it in arrears. You will be struggling at the last moment. Are you in need of any slide? If so, just tell me the number.
Madam, I need all the slides before the 33 slide.
Today's ones.
Yes, yes.
Before the 33 or after the 33?
Before 33.
Then starting from 27 This is the initial slide of today's session, right? Do you have the rest?
Okay, thank you, madam.
Anybody else? Right, so complete the self-study task and I'll be meeting tomorrow with the third day's content. Okay then, see you, good night.
Good night. Thank you, madam.
Good night.
Thank you, madam.